establishment organs like the Atlantic. And now with Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden and CNN and MSNBC all stating that Trump is already a dictator and illegitimate. And they are inverting reality and saying he stole the 2016 election, he's going to try to do it again, and that they are going to contest the election, and that if he contests their contesting, that is dictatorship, which of course it's not, and that they will then remove him using COG. Now, Pelosi came out 3 days ago and said this. Last night, the former Attorney General under Obama, Eric Holder, came out and said that Trump is planning on using paramilitary troops across the United States to basically take over local governments and set up his own martial law. Now, of course, we've laid all this out with exact specifics and told you it was coming. 2 years ago, I did a special report on this, and I said they will trigger race war nationwide in all the major cities, surround the White House, and demand that the president step down. And I even predicted they would do it specifically during the midterms or during the next 2020 election, because they'll use that as cover to say that the president is contesting the election when it's them that are contesting it. That's how I would battle plan it. That's how I would run it, studying their operations. Well, that is exactly the play that they are running. So understand, this has gone from the drawing board as one of their main attack profiles that if I was them, I would run, to now operational with them lining up the propaganda, the talking points for all this to unfold. So again, while we're all worried about the lockdown of the virus, while we're all worried about the race rioting, all of that, that's the backdrop. So the American people are used to being locked down when they remove Trump. So people are used to the new normal of things not being normal and being under martial law. All of this is about normalizing blue cities, blue states, multinational corporations, taking governmental control of the United States and of Western Europe, Canada, New Zealand, Australia. This is a corporate takeover with China, militarily, with intelligence agencies and money backing it up. That's what globalism is a corporate takeover. And so you notice they are keeping the country locked down. Trump tries to stop it. He tries to expose their fraud. Then they blame him for the virus, and Pelosi even calls it the Trump virus, as China is now calling it the Trump virus. So not only are the Democrats and their minions engaged in treason, they're working with multinational foreign powers and the communist Chinese that have killed over 100 million of their own people and have 3 million Muslims, Christians, and Buddhists in slave labor death camps on record. So remember, Democrats, globalists, Hollywood, while they shake their finger at you about a cop that might have killed somebody wrongfully, so we're all bad, literally are backing up modern death camps. So we're 100 days out from the election right now, about to be less than 100 days out. And Trump is starting to understand how much danger he and the country are in. He's not naive anymore. He's already made it through 3 coups, or what's called the rolling coup. But I have begged all the other publications like the Daily Caller and Breitbart and the Gateway Pundit, everybody, to really make this the central issue. Because it's not just Alex Jones telling you this 3.5 years ago now, because I was reading it in Globalist Battle Plans, white papers. It's now out in the open, and they're going to do this. So Trump's doing the right thing, sidelining Fauci and BRICS and all the rest of them, but during these briefings, he needs to go directly at the fact that the NIH is still in control of policy, and for every coronavirus positive, they're counting 15 more people bare minimum. That's why you see stories all over the country of people that don't even go into a clinic getting an email saying you've got coronavirus because somebody they knew tested positive. Or someone who goes into a clinic, they say no need to test you, and then they go home and they're told you have coronavirus. Again, that's just one part of this fraud. And then CNN has the nerve to have all these stories about Trump's fumbling, Trump doesn't believe in science, Trump's making stuff up, when they're the ones that have made up this entire fraud and sent people that were sick to nursing homes to actually get a high kill number. Trump must go on the total offensive. Instead of being nice to Governor Newsom and nice to Governor Cuomo and nice to all these other pieces of trash, he has to expose the monstrous criminal globalist conspiracy they've been involved in with the Wuhan lab, which again, Bill Gates and Fauci and the rest of them openly ran. This was a setup from the beginning when the impeachment was failing. They released the virus, which does spread, which has amazing gain of function, knowing it would kill a bunch of old people, and then they could hype up the fear and anytime they want, shut the economy down. So again, we're already under a form of martial law right now. The question is, are you going to let them put us into full martial law? Because now you notice they're talking about, once Trump's gone, we're going to wipe out his base and take their guns. You're like, well, that'll start a war. They want a war to start. The Chi-Coms and the globalists want a civil war to take the United States out of the equation. So for those of you that think, oh, the government doesn't want to destabilize things and wreck things, even if it's a corrupt government, they want the money and power. No, 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 my friends. That's what the New World Order wants. That's their plan. And that's why only telling the truth about how much trouble we're in will defeat these rats. Only telling part of the story, we're going to lose.
Whether he knows it yet or not, he will be leaving. Just because he might not want to move out of the White House doesn't mean we won't have an inauguration ceremony to inaugurate a duly elected president of the United States. And I'm second in line to the presidency, and just last week I had my regular continuation of government briefing. This might interest you because I say to them, this is never going to happen. God willing, it never will. But there is a process. It has nothing to do with if the certain occupant of the White House doesn't feel like moving and has to be fumigated out of there, because the presidency is the presidency. It's not geography or location.
You have 4 chiefs of staff coming out and ripping the skin off of Trump. And you have so many rank and file military personnel saying, whoa, we're not a military state. This is not who we are. I promise you, I'm absolutely convinced they will escort him from the White House with great dispatch.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you.
The coup against America is already underway. Major corporations backed by the communist Chinese with blue cities and blue states have already usurped power from Congress and from the president and are already in control of most of the United States. 800-plus sanctuary cities are only a small part of this larger operation, where illegal aliens, many of them felons who've committed serious crimes, are above the law, and police are instructed not to even let ICE know where they are if they happen to pull them over and find out that they're a rapist or even a murderer. That's just one example of the lawlessness of the globalists and how Nancy Pelosi admits MS-13 is basically part of their paramilitary arm.